baby. It's another week. Another Lunacid stream.
Will we ever achieve full lunacy?
I got pretty close, actually. I was doing some grinding off stream. I got pretty close to full lunacy. I think I might have some stuff to do that if we want to play around with it. Could be fun.
But like speaking of lunacy, I apparently this is robot spacers therapy now, which I would argue that this is all of our therapy now.
All right, step
All of
one.
us.
I'm gonna switch us over to the game. You gotta break out of jail.
There's no game.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
Panicked.
We got to
I
break
think-
out of jail by touching this crystal.
That why does this one seem scarier? Did they all flicker like that?
No, I think that was a draw distance thing where I was getting further away
Oh.
from it. I also, okay, let's go over what I did. For starters, I found this cool sword. It's pretty neat. It's big. It's blue.
It's pretty cool.
It is the Moonlight Greatsword replica for this game. You have a really long charge up time, but you throw a crescent moon when you swing it.
Hell yeah, you do.
Let's see, what else did I get? I got this neat little lantern that just makes me glow and gives off a bit of light as long as I have it turned on, which I think is what is conflicting with this because it's a blue light that's a purple, and I think they just kind of blinked back and forth.
Who's a dishwasher?
I got us 15 levels, so we should
Sure.
take care of that.
R.I.P. 69.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
It's weird that we're still playing the game after we've won.
It's kind of a new game plus. It's an extra lap. We just,
Okay. I like that little victory time.
yeah. We took out a vampire. Now we got to take out a great old one. We also got to spend these 30 points, which...
I like that we did fight a vampire who's had two moms during Pride Month.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's double offense somehow. Or a triple offense. Both moms and to a vampire.
I don't know. I guess we also
the
fought
plus.
one of the moms.
Oh, that's true. That's true. lot-
But yeah,
There's a lot
it's
of crimes.
we got a lot of crimes going on. That's why we're in prison. I probably should have done this as an extra stream, but I did the tower to get the Moonlight Sword. That's also where I got most of these levels. Oops.
I wish that we had a game programming proficiency for us to just make the games that we describe while describing other games poorly. Like we're just a bunch of mice in a set of armor trying to get out of it's inverse of air jail and sewer jail, well jail. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It would be fun. I think that this is a pretty decent spread. We
Sure.
do use a lot of magic, so maybe we could bump that up more, but I got through the tower challenge pretty easily, so I don't think we need much more than 5 points here. If we even need 5 points here, we can bump up strength because we can still physically hit things and do extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is okay. And all of our numbers are round, so...
That does feel good.
Alright, so we have a few things that we need to do before we continue on. For starters, we gotta go check out our boy Daedalus, because we left him with another black book.
Oh yes, but it's the last one, right? Did we
I
find all of them?
believe it's the last one.
Will he tell us? Will he be like, "Oh,
I don't know.
I've read all the books now"?
Because I've never found them all in any of my runs. I should show what this sword does. Oh, I guess I kind of already talked about it. It throws a crescent blade.
Do it. Attack all of
Boom.
the snails.
I do know what the
Good
final
lord.
item that, yeah, this thing will just... I don't want to say the game's trivial, but it makes...
The range, the fact that like you could just like if you can see it, you can hit it is wild.
Yeah, it is a little bit shorter than it looks like, but it goes very far.
Hmm.
You no longer have to swap between having a wand or a staff and a club. Oh no, I didn't give it to him last time. Okay. Well. Alright. So I looked up how long it takes for him to translate a book. It is 12 minutes in game. So we'll just do some stuff. We still got to finish up the prison. We'll come
Oh
back.
yeah, there was that like angel or something in the prison.
Yeah, there's a
We
very
never
large
visited.
area that we still have not explored.
Oh, let's go to there.
Well, first, I did some stuff for Cheryl the Crow off
Oh,
stream.
Cheryl.
And so she told
God, I
me...
wish I knew a Cheryl Crow song easily off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know any. Okay, well, this is a problem. Let's
Is she gonna go
switch.
soak up the sun? She gonna tell everyone?
That might be her. I don't know.
I still hate those little fucking spinal shrimps.
They're awful. I also saw on Twitter this weekend somebody was posting about their game and they were talking about creating enemies that were just nervous systems and brains and eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is a great enemy design, and I'm sorry it's already been done a couple times.
Yeah. Sorry about your luck, but we do have some Cheryl the Crow fans in the chat.
Oh, does make me happy. But we got to see. Cheryl told me that she would have new equipment, and so I want to go see what she's got. I don't think it'll be anything spectacular, considering the fact that we have Magic Sword, but it's worth checking out.
Hey, you know, I just love accessorizing, so
And I like supporting local businesses.
I think that's great.
Demi. Well, yes, I would love a new trinket. So we now have a gun. Yeah.
I mean,
we've got the money.
yeah, why not? I'm never gonna say no. It's like another crab's treasure. Why not?
I'm not going to buy the oil lantern because we have the magic lantern, and I think it does the exact same thing.
Sure.
The price for health vials has dropped again. We have 16. I think we're okay. So, let's check out... Yeah, let's replace this. Peculiar ranged weapon from a lost time. Back when people still braved the corrupted poison sea. Does dark damage.
Dark damage.
Alright, let's go see what
Sure.
this does.
God.
Yeah, I think we just go back to prison at this point. Let's go shoot those dogs.
Never say that again.
These awful skeleton dogs. Hi.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, it might not work well because they are dark.
Yeah.
Oh, there are jail keepers we can shoot. Jailers. Oh, you can charge it up. Good. Nothing happened. Not good. Nothing happened.
No
Not
effect.
good. Alright, I don't like this gun. glad that you have better buttercream. Real quick, I'm gonna switch back to, I should show this off. We also got this sword.
Sure.
I will also say, I don't know if it is an aspect of this sword, but a lot of things drop items when I kill it with it. I got this sword. It's neat. I leveled it up.
Cool.
That's it. That's all I got.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty strong. It's slightly stronger than the steel... No, it's the exact same. It's a little bit slower than the steel club. But I think blunt weapons don't get enough love, so we're gonna stick to the steel club. As we come in here and check out our angel guy. There it is. Okay.
Oh, I was just like, is this a fake out?
Nope.
I don't know why, but I held my breath. Did it help?
I was really nervous because I had to get onto a ladder on a wall that had a hole underneath it, but we made it. The world twists around me and through me. What victory lies in outliving time if I too will change with them? I have lost Lyria. Lyria? Lyria. I have lost my humanity and have become brittle, cold, and precise in death. So as a quick rehash, we are, one, looking for a way out of here. Two, our buddy Garat told us that he lost his mallet. And we are supposed to try and find his hammer and get it back to him.
Oh. I don't know if I've registered its head popping off before.
They don't normally pop off, because previously I was setting them on fire with magic.
Mm.
And a lot of times they... Oh yeah, they drop their little mask. A lot of times their candle will block attacks. I don't know.
Bad dog.
Candle is, unfortunately, immune to fire. Okay. Well, we saw goodies. I miss the wind and the rain, painful as it was. I miss the sky and the people, hurtful as they were. I will leave the only way I can, leaving this body behind.
Sure.
Some moon
I do love the
petals.
sound of this weapon so much.
Yeah. Everything about this weapon is great. I think that's our boy's hammer.
Why is it the hammer of cruelty?
Yeah, we should check this out.
Thought you were reading Sheryl Crow lyrics for a second. Also, when you were talking about the dark damage, I saw on Secret Crush's woes of chocolate buttercream not being dark enough, food coloring making it. Okay, I don't know what color it is, but what if whatever the buttercream is for, I'm assuming Robot Spacer's birthday, what if you just make Robot Spacer a Shrek-themed dessert, so you could just say it's a swamp? Problem
Swamp.
solved. Get some gummy worms and some Oreos, crumble them up. You got a swamp, baby.
Look at you. You're a problem solver.
Put an onion as a you don't eat the onion. It's just like a garnish.
A reference, if you will.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're fine.
Now, what were you saying about the hammer of cruelty?
So I'm pretty sure this is our boy's hammer. It's an iron hammer fashioned around the compressed corpses of fallen moon beasts.
What?
Cursed with many odd incantations that bind the user to an unknown will. Does split dark and light damage. Also,
Ooh,
a ton of damage.
sure.
We can equip it.
But does it... Ah, mana drain, I see.
Yep. We gotta switch back over because our Moonlight Greatsword needs mana to throw its...
Need some juice. I've always said that.
I heard it. So now the question is, should we give this back to Garat? Because we don't have to.
See, this is the hard thing for me in games. Because, like, would I ever use the hammer? No. I like it for me because like we're using a lot of mana, right? That thing drains it real bad. Even though it does damage, it removes some of your versatility.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, but do I give it? Like, I could always hold on to it and not use it, because what will happen if I give it back to him?
That's a great question.
Like, does he go off the deep end like so many people in this world have done? You know?
He is cursed, and it did talk about being controlled by an outside will.
So
We don't know
that's
which
where
will
I'm
that
at.
is.
But also, if we done get him, what if we have to fight him? What do we benefit from? You know, like that's always the thing. So where I'm at in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is where I have to go save my bro. But when I do so, my girlfriend, which is his wife, won't be my girlfriend anymore. So if I don't ever save him, I don't have to deal with it. So side quests abound, or not playing it.
That's
She'll
rough.
never leave me. So these are how I play games. How about you? Do you just ignore? Do you ignore your fate?
No, I think about these things a lot. I do use it as like a role-playing opportunity, even if I know nothing will really happen. I do believe my first playthrough I gave back the hammer, even though I was very hesitant to.
Yeah. Ooh.
I still don't know if that is the correct... Well, like, there is no right answer, but I don't know if it was what I wanted to do.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
often like will play a game like I guess like role playing like organically, like how would I, if I was this character, how would I move across this space, right? Like how would
Right.
I inhabit this world? And then I usually go back, and not like speed runner or anything, but I'll try to go back and kind of push a little bit at what those opportunities could be, and if I want to choose other options, see how they pan out.
Yeah, usually the first time I play a game, it is supposed to be as close to how I would answer as possible. Hey, buddy. You gonna be cool?
What?
Yeah, you're cool.
What? Okay.
Ring. Thank you. Smooch.
I love smooching a flaming skull dragon.
I don't know if this is, but I feel like this is a reference to Silent Hill 4, in which there is a room that has nothing in it, but when you get to the back of the room, the camera perspective switches, and you can see on the back wall there is a massive head of the person traveling with you, and nobody ever comments on it. It's just this massive head that watches you as you move around the room. It's very eerie. It doesn't do anything. Nobody says anything about it. It's just there.
Oh, good. Oh, I was gonna be like, are we going into Crow Country? Country Croc?
Crunchy. think we've probably gotten most of the stuff that we need. We just need to decide. Are we giving Garat his hammer back? Yeah, that's it. We've done the loop.
Gary.
I think he's down below. Which is fine, because that's where the exit is. But we should save first. Let's save. Let's get our mana back. Let's go down the ramp. Do we? No, let's just jump down. Bye.
Right.
Alright. What do we think?
Oh. Let's give it back to him.
I always forget how tall he is.
My glorious smasher.
Is that it? My glorious smasher? Haha! Yep. 1,000 thanks, Gerald. I shall remember this and repay the favor in chance. But now, to violence! Hell yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So we need to get out of here. The exit is in the basement.
This music reminds me of my brain is spacing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up quietly.
Slap those keys. Alright, we got Moon Boys. And they are very resistant. Alright, I'm done playing with you.
Yeah, it's making me think the haunted house from Super Mario 64.
Oh. That is not what came to my mind, but I can see it.
It's just like that like really breathy, like the breathy organ sound and like
Yeah.
the gong with the bass, like compositionally different, but I think they're playing similar synths to evoke similar feelings.
Yeah. This very much has like a creepy, haunted area. Go away. Nobody likes you. I'm gonna have to change my weapon.
They said that, not me. Except I don't like you either, but I would never say that to your face.
Yo. Are you fishing spear? Spear in hand, I am to die. Not from defeat, I lie to myself. But from a longing for an end to this eternal war. Oh, come on. Stop it.
Why'd you just cool it?
Ah!
God,
Coffins!
Oh, God.
There's gonna be so many infested corpses in here. Go away.
That's why I always try to clean my room.
No, my mana. Oops. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is where we want to go.
Unsecret Crush, is the theme a secret theme, or is it a theme that has been defined and pronounced to all, and I don't know it? Ooh.
Potion.
Okay.
My mana was low, and this was one of the, this is one of the potions that gives me more mana overall. Okay, I think this is where I want to go. We are looking for the Forlorn Arena. That's not it, but... Oh,
Oh
right.
god. Tell us the colors and it's a fun guessing game. Beautiful.
I'm trying to remember if we want to do this. I feel like it may just be more worth it to go find the exit. Made orange, yellow, white. As dark a chocolate as I can. Huh.
Can we have a hint? Like, is it a feeling or a video game or a movie or an album cover? There's a lot of potential here.
Is it Crime Island themed? I like that this area mimics the area of the Silent Temple
Mm,
from the beginning of the game.
yes.
So frail, chipped on unripe bone. Pain. But it is as a friend anyway. It's nice to have a friend down here.
It's a character.
Oh, I got it. Oh,
Do
hello.
you?
Yeah. What character do you associate with Robot Spacer? Oh, come on. Okay, we're gonna switch back to
I don't know now that you're putting me on the spot.
perhaps a famous cat. Oh, that's awful.
Oh. That makes sense. That makes sense. I have point and click brain rot that I was trying to be like, what obscure character?
Guybrush Threepwood. That'd be King Graham. Oh, no, that's not fair. You can't come in here.
Uh, uh,
They're wall hacks.
that's incredible.
Oh, that's a good Garf.
That is, go to hell. I haven't seen that one. That's very good. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to not be watching The Office, Bob's Burgers, or Parks and Rec while I work every day all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to listen to more podcasts and watch Twitch more regularly again.
How's that going?
We're early on, but so far, I kind of made the conscious decision like last night. But so far, so good. I'm still honestly catching up on. I have the Devolver showcase, the Devolver Direct, I guess, in the devs
Hmm.
streams to still watch. Which honestly, I wasn't gonna watch because I was just like, they'll come out eventually. But then the
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct yesterday was so freaking delightful.
Yeah, everybody's really happy about that one.
That I was just like, oh, I should go watch these because that was such a great like dopamine hit. You know, like I understand it's very difficult for Nintendo, right? Like they have a lot of properties that people feel passionately about, and now people are constantly like they always want a direct, they always want new Pokemon, they want, what the Switch 2 is and whatever.
Buddy, you can't be
And
here.
for I thought it was just like a powerhouse of a showcase to have the Switch so close to like end of cycle or like main cycle. There'll still be support for it whenever the Switch 2 comes out, I'm sure for a while.
Is this the letter?
But
Yeah.
but what a freaking delight.
Yeah, everybody seemed pretty keen on the show. A lot of things people were really excited for.
Hmm.
Go away. Oh man.
What happened?
We got blinded and I can't use my weapon. So it's very difficult to see because I'm blind and then half of my screen is covered in chains. Oh, hello. Man, I feel like I found the exit immediately last time, and I was like, no, we should wait. There's more to do here.
And Secret Crush, have you ever done one of the like they're cupcakes, but you kind of mush them together closely so they look like a cake, and then you ice them all together, and then you can they're kind of like a peel apart cake. Have you ever done that? Seems dubious.
Okay, here we go.
My favorite cake I ever gotten was absolutely my, oh god, 34th birthday.
There we go.
Steph had her roommate at the time make me a Kirby cake.
Oh.
And I don't know if anyone's ever made me a cake for my birthday. Because usually I go ice cream cake.
Hell yeah.
Not, I didn't mean for like no one's ever made me a cake. Sounds sad. But I usually go ice cream cake. But it was a funfetti one, and it was Kirby, and it was beautiful. I think making a cake for a loved one is a very powerful gesture.
Yeah.
You saw a Carby. There's a fucking car around me that is fully wrapped as like Sonic running through Green Hill Zone. And I don't hate it.
I'd like our ring, please. Oh, buddy, are you glitched? Oh no, we may not get the final spell.
You're too powerful.
Oh, they got the Carby license plate?
There's the Cadillac SUV.
Alright.
There is one of the Mini Coopers by me that's like blue. It has black and red like checker pattern on it, and it looks like you could easily brand it as like a Sonic car, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I always see it at the grocery store, and the license plate is Mr. Miami.
Oh my gosh.
And I love it so much because I don't know who drives it. And I don't want to know. I have such a beautiful image of the individual. Loafers and tan lines and all.
Wait, Michigan doesn't let you take pictures of people's license plates? What's the point of having a vanity plate then?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Want to go viral on the internet for my cute vanity plate idea.
Oh, I was holding my phone while driving.
Oh, okay.
You could have parked just right there in the thing. What is this?
This
Oh,
is
it's
the mimic.
I just like looked over at the chat and came back, and
It's a real jerk. Even
I do
with
think this is
magic
one of the
sword.
more interesting mimic designs I've seen.
It
Not that my mimic experiences that.
it it's terrifying because it's massive and it takes your money.
And it kind of
And
undulates in a weird way.
yeah, it undulates, it takes up a lot of space. Also, it will attack you and transform way before you realize that it's even there. Buddies. Man, don't do that. Come
You
on.
can't use your sword, huh? Is that changed?
No. Also, you're making it hard to see the stream. I don't appreciate that. This might be a decent time to show it off. I've also been picking up these items. Is it? A moonlight vial. A small vial of precious moonlight liquid. Fully restores mana and increases lunacy. A rare item indeed, often kept by the magically inclined for dire needs.
Okay.
I've never really used these. They could be really helpful. And I think that if we wanted to explore what it's like to have maximum lunacy, we could do that. That would
Little
be
ding dong. What are you doing?
Suxarian.
And Secret Crush asks, is having lunacy good or bad?
Having lunacy is both. It increases the magic damage that you do. It gives you more experience, but you will also take more damage. Alright, so this area we have to go through a couple different temples. There are two temples in this area, the Earth and the Water Temple, and we need stuff from both to get into
The Water Temple shit.
area in the middle. I'm not fond of either of them.
Okay.
It is not the nightmare that Zelda, Legend of Zelda water temples typically are.
Oh god.
Uh,
Oh!
I think this has to do with me having the Moonlight Greatsword equipped all the time. Maybe we'll go back to our basic.
That they're putting baby in the corner with the mimics?
Yeah. That's the other thing, is after doing the tower, you get to see them playing with size a bit more. Well, I guess there was another area where they play with size, but I didn't show it. But in addition to playing with size, they start messing with your hitbox, and so certain weapons become a lot less usable because hitboxes will get so small. Yeah, okay. We'll be fine.
Scrub your face on the
Is it
cavern
desirable?
wall.
Lunacy has its uses. It can be really nice if you are trying to gain levels and get experience. Also, if you're purely a magic user, it can really crank things up, but it just means that you are more likely to become a glass cannon and die with 1 or 2 shots.
Ooh. I hate it.
Yep. These are very odd enemies because I can never really tell where they're aiming or what spell they're casting. It's usually a little fart cloud, but sometimes it's a magic bolt.
I have the same problem.
Oh, you gotta get that checked out.
I know. Not having health insurance is a real bummer.
Yep, it's not fun. They appear to die when dealt enough blows, but I'm not so sure. There's clearly been a sharing of blood between them and Saxaras. And the unkilling curse, like a reptile, regrows lost limbs. They are his and grows as such.
Hate it.
Yep. We got some Elden Ring stuff going on.
I made a friend the other day who plays Magic and has an Elden Ring proxy deck.
What do they use for it? Get out of here.
In Secret Crush, you have to really put the working dishwasher through its paces to really know that it's working. That's only wise. The soundtrack is so good.
It's incredible. I feel like a lot of the songs don't really feel like they fit where they are, like the funky library, but they're still just such good tracks that I kind of
Do you
just
not listen
let it
to
slide.
funk when you're in the library?
No, I don't. But I don't normally listen to funk.
I think that's more on you than the game. Funk it up, baby.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we got an antidote if we get poisoned again, which I will not equip because I'm lazy.
A giant stone sword.
Yes.
Cool.
So this area is the Forlorn Arena, and it is filled up with these lizardmen called the Saxarian that we read about. I know that there's more lore to this place. All I can tell is that, like, this was an area where people used to fight a lot, so there's a bunch of battle iconography, giant swords, giant axes, shields are used as indicators around here. I went the wrong way. I don't remember if I'm supposed to, but I feel like I climbed a bunch of these in the previous game. Fairy moss. That's busted. Where does this send us? Doesn't seem good. When was the last time we saved? Let's find out. Alright. I kind of want to call nonsense on that damage, but it's fine. We'll take it. Alright, there's a living mushroom, so I don't think we've been here yet. Another living mushroom. Is there really nothing here? Weird. These look like traps. Yep.
Like these sculpture guys on the walls.
I'm trying to remember if all of them are traps or just some of them. I think it's just some of them. Oh, okay. Is that a free wet sword? Obsidian seal. A fragile thin blade of obsidian with a strange seal trapped within. Does dark damage. Huh, okay. Not great damage, but it can be leveled up, so maybe we can eventually make it useful. Yeah, okay, so it's just some of you.
Sparkles in this area keep throwing me off.
Yeah. It is a really nice effect, and it really throws me off.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, but I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's wall. Don't like that guy.
Get it? No. This place is narrow. I can't... Oh, alright.
Get that fairy moss, though.
Gotta have it.
Double staircase.
There we go. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's see. I feel like I'm lost, but we keep finding things that I haven't killed,
Yeah.
so that's a good sign.
I mean, I feel like I'm lost.
Alright. Should probably check this other wall.
Oh, Lucy came to game. What up, girl?
Hail, Satan. How's Lucy today?
She's all right. She's really taken to being my little spoon when I sleep,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't like it when I roll over. So if I roll over and my back is to her, she will get up, walk across me, walk around my pillow, which wakes me up, and then I roll back over. So she has it like clockwork. If I like move, she'll let me lay there for like maybe a minute. And she's like, "You've had your time. Come back." She's She's a little terror, but she's my little terror.
Yup.
I never thought I would be a cat person.
Just takes them getting the toxoplasmosis in your brain.
That's what I told Steph.
All right, we did it. Yeah, I don't dislike cats.
Mhm.
I just never spent a lot of time around them
Yeah.
until I don't remember. There was some point in grad school where I needed to save something and I couldn't save myself, and I found a cat that would spend the day outside. And I wasn't sure if it was like somebody in the neighborhood's cat or if it was just a cat that lived outside. But I started feeding it and letting it inside during the summer because it would be really hot. And that was like the perfect level of having and taking care of an animal.
Yeah.
Because I didn't actually, we should say, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't actually have to like take care of them. I got all of the nice bits of like being able to pet a cat and spend time with it, and also didn't have to like take it to the vet or do much about grooming. I ultimately did learn that it was somebody in the neighborhoods who just let it out during the day, and I just like eventually they were just like, no, you're home, I'm coming inside, it's hot, it's summer. And that was our relationship.
I love that. When I came home the other night from my Magic Mondays evening, there was a cat just lounging on our stoop.
Uh-huh.
So I was just like, oh, hello. And so when I parked on the street because I did not want to pull into the driveway and disturb him.
Uh-huh.
So when I did that, he was like, I'm going to go into the bush, though. And so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Would you like some of my pizza? And so I gave him some of my barbecue chicken pizza.
Oh, okay.
And then I took the dogs out back instead of out front so the cat could enjoy some pizza.
Thought you were giving the cat like pepperoni pizza.
No. That would have been cool, though.
Would have
That's
been a cool cat.
Yeah, I don't know. When Steph and I first started dating, Lucy was around. She's been around for a long time. But in the apartment, she would just like yell all night.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, she just is like has cat dementia and forgets that she eats and then thinks she's hungry and just will yell. I've also had a roommate who occupied the room that used to be Lucy's room, so she didn't like that either. But we moved into the house and she's like, all right, cool, whatever. But now terrorizes me because she realized that she can be Little Spoon.
Yeah.
And it's made Steph a little jealous, not of being Little Spoon, but that Lucy loves me so much.
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird when your partner has a pet and you have to like navigate that relationship and what happens when the pet really likes the new person more than their owner.
Yeah, Steph said she knew something was up about me when I came over for the first time and Archie met me because he's like she adopted him and then
come on.
Oh my god, and then the pandemic started, so he was really like a pandemic pup.
Uh-huh.
So he's just like, I don't want to say scared, but just like cautious and withdrawn. Like doesn't like he'll be like, oh, it's nice to meet you, but like I'm good.
Yeah.
And he was just like, hell yeah, brother, you're my new best friend. And she's like, what the hell? And I was just like, got him. He's my little buckaroo. He's really great with playing with Mayday and like meeting her where she's at since she can't move really well.
Aww.
what she'll like lay there and she'll like stomp her front legs like this, like from her like elbow down, like slap them down, and then he'll lay across from her and do it too, and it's very cute. I'll have to film it for the Discord. Oh,
Here's a new enemy.
the eye makes me like you need a bow and arrow, like both shot in an eye.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's what I did with my previous character, but you can also just set it on fire. It's just a tree.
It's just a tree.
I sought power, unlike any found above, and I think I've found a source, but this power will take my humanity, my function, and my sense of self. Is it worth losing rank and serving another if it means I'm closer to it?
Why is everyone writing these diaries and just forgetting about them? Do you think they're left as cautionary tales, or people are just like leaving things? Like, I think this goes for any game, right? Like, you know, like Skyrim, you'll get like a random soup recipe in a dungeon or something.
Yeah, we had this conversation in Unsecret Crush's chat one day, and I do think video games abuse it, but I don't think people realize how much of a trace we leave.
Yeah.
And in times when like we didn't have emails or phone or something like that, it was not uncommon for people to leave journals to talk about their adventures or where they went, or like scientific journeys. They would talk about like, we traveled this far this day, we ate this food, here's what we saw.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of games abuse it by just being like, well, you're gonna find a soup recipe in a dungeon. Like, probably not. Maybe adventurers were like, oh, we had to do something to feed ourselves, here's what we ended up doing. It actually kind of worked.
Yeah.
But there are so many things here that I'm just kind of like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense that this is here.
Yeah, like my grandma always like kept a or probably still does. Just like she'll be like, this is what I did this day, and like would annotate, you know, if the recipe of something if it was good, even if you had it somewhere else, she'd be like, hey, banging recipe, just to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how, I mean, I guess we're in it, but like already like technology has shifted just so much. In like, we look at the 90s and we all have like I mean, you can still journal and like, you know, dictate your life in some fashion. But I'm curious to just how that will continue to shift over time. Just like, there's so much that's just like the TikToks and the Instagrams now, you know? Like, we have like video records too that are instantaneous versus like, you know, a documentary.
Yeah. This is kind of what I mean by like, it has changed now, but we still have like emails and tweets and blog posts, and like, we are sharing things about ourselves in this stream that we are doing about video games that are trying to emulate video games of the past. And so like, we still do it, it just looks different.
Yeah.
And I think the point that Unsecret Crush makes with like having a journal for a trip and having just one page of it be found, that kind of renders the rest of the journal not useful, because suddenly you're missing a key step and you don't know what to do next. And I do think that like part of that is just a storytelling technique, and also like part of me is like, yeah, people who make games often abuse that and just like, we're just gonna shred this journal and you'll find it as you go, because we need that for story reasons.
Yeah, I do like to like both times that I've like gone to China, I've like journaled each day about like what I did, because I was like, I did some cool stuff. I'm not gonna remember in a few years what happened when. I want to be better at it since I do it inconsistently, but
Arena.
I like these guys.
They're
I like
kind
their
of
long faces.
yeah, they are very fun. We've talked a little bit about how some of the enemies are dangerous, but these are the first ones that I'm actually like, all right, this is a problem. Like, we are well equipped, and these guys can be a problem.
Right.
Kind of worried that I'm just sort of doing this haphazardly, and I think we might be looping back to an area we were. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna go back over here. This will put us at the big sword. Or it won't. Also good. Here we go. Let's take this path. You know what? We don't have to do this. Well, there's not anything here, so... Thank you for the mana.
This is only kind of related, but I was just thinking about like text in dungeons, and I do like how I think Pokemon does it really well. At least the older ones. Like if you see a bookshelf, you can go up and it'll be like, "Oh, it's a book about Pokemon. Do you want to read it?" And it'll like you pull it out and it'll be like a line about Cubone or whatever. And I love that. Like anything that appears interactable, like in buildings or environments where if it's not interactable, there's like filler text. I really enjoy.
Yeah, I like...
Even if it's like, because it's another way to just get like it's because it's usually like you're reading or it's the character's perception versus them being told by like a journal or something.
Yeah, it's world building, and oftentimes it is world building that would actually exist in the world.
Yeah.
So it makes sense diegetically. Like, I really appreciate that stuff. Earth Talisman. Alright, we got our talismans.
Hell yeah.
Let's go save. We probably leveled up a couple times. I really appreciate games that do that. I also enjoy games that have lore attached to items, but I have a lot of problems with FromSoft because they tend to just be like, I'm gonna write this massive story and then throw all the pieces to the wind, and you've got to figure out where the items are, and if you're missing one piece of armor that you have to grind for, you don't get to know what happened.
Yeah.
But you have games like Blasphemous, which do a very similar thing. Yo, 95. We might hit 100 before we're done. I gotta do it. It's gotta be 64. But Blasphemous does a similar thing where lore is tied to an item, but it is not a single sentence. It's actually several sentences to a paragraph. So just getting somebody's knuckle bone has a full story to it.
Yeah.
And then there's context around that story that you can find, but I don't have to go dig up this person's entire skeleton to know what their deal was.
Totally.
And just like that, we break a seal. No. No. Yeah, I probably should have equipped Moonlight. Gerald, I can't let you interfere with this battle. Glorious violence shall be mine.
Are we in a Metroid?
Rip.
Oh.
Ah.
What?
Okay, I gotta do this quick. Equip. Alright. So yeah, you got a boss.
No, you don't fight him. He gets murdered.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't see that coming.
I think it's nice. I kind of wondered if
I think
something
it's
like
nice
this...
he got murdered.
Well, I think narratively it's nice. Because every time we see Garrett, he's getting his butt kicked. He, like, just can't solve things. He's the only one who survived in his troop. And it's just like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that he would immediately get one shot. So yeah, this is the thing that we were reading about with, like, getting power and being able to regenerate. The lizard people can regenerate, but this thing is clearly dead and still going. I should start this one. What's that damage like? It's not
What is
that
it
great.
weak to?
I'm not sure. Probably ice, since it's lizard, but I'm not going to stop the game to change
Yeah, no.
my spell, mostly because you can't. Oh, what a jerk. Oh, yeah.
This also, I know it's not the same, and probably not even. Well, they might be inspired by it. The first like boss fight in Pseudo Regalia.
I kind of see it.
Like they're not the same, but this enemy's movements kind of. I guess the way the enemy looks is.
It's another big guy with a big sword.
Yeah, isn't it reptilian as well in Pseudo Regalia? Or am I
It
just-
is not.
Okay.
It is in armor, though. Actually, I don't think the first boss is. I think the later versions of it has armor. Because it's supposed to be kind of a iron knuckle. Oh
This is a
boy,
doozy.
I'm not doing well. Alright. Let's get some more magic in here. So yeah, the vampire fight, like, it's largely fine. It took me a really long time with my first character, but I may have been kind of underleveled. And eventually I did just kind of resort to using a wand instead of actual magic, which was more powerful. This one just takes a really long time. I don't think it's a super interesting fight.
I feel like that's a lot of old stuff. Not all, of course. There's some that are doing really cool things, but I feel like some of them it's just like your resilience
Yeah.
as a player.
I think the other thing is that the Soulsborne games have a lot of a lot of details and mechanics in their combat with, like, dodge rolling, parrying. They use attack animations. I have a lot of issues with their more recent games and how attack animations are used. I think that they've gotten really bad. But there's a lot to work with. This game is a game made by one person, and it makes sense that this game is just... Like, this is still pretty good for one person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I do find it kind of funny that, the thing that saves you in this game is circle strafing, which is something that came out of shooters.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let's get that back up.
Is its head becoming more of a skull?
I think so, because I think initially it was just a small area, but it may not be. I might be seeing it, like, inverted from how it actually was.
Oh, God, that lunge thing.
Oh, come on, not the snakes. Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Why is it scarier when you stop moving?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been watching its health bar. You really have to stay on this boss because it heals itself over time.
Ooh.
I'm a little worried that maybe I don't have enough health potions to get through this.
Now that lunge attack really, like, you can see it coming, but... The snakes coming out of its face was cool.
Yeah, I know that this is like immersion and breaking or whatever, but I love when the stakes spawn in and they're just straight lines.
Yeah.
Like, I love those little low res, low finish details. It's just so good to me. Please stay over there.
Punk.
Come on. I have to clean my mouse after this. It feels kind of sticky.
Gross.
I'm not sure if it's the game or if it is. It may just be the game.
Oh, like the bottom of it?
Well, there's times that I, like, let go for an attack and I just do a swing instead of throwing the energy beam.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And there is a little trick where if you like fully charge and then block and then let go of the charge, you keep holding it. So I do think that it's probably something programming, but I'm always really nervous that I'm like, alright, I gotta swap up my equipment now.
Your snake situation is stressing me out.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Try to take out a few of them. I largely wasn't worried about them because they were staying away, but I think that they can poison me, and that would be a bad situation to be in, like just continually going poison. Stop! Also, I don't want to stop attacking this boy for a while, because I need to keep that health down. I'm pretty sure that there's some attack that I can do when it's doing its little prayer, but I'm not sure what it is. And I don't feel like experimenting by swapping my weapons around.
What big sweating broke? Good. You've been so far away from that, I didn't realize that its area of effect was so large.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of indicators in this game, which I think is fine. I think you're right, its face is getting worse.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. That's a lot of things.
It is a lot of snakes. Not a lot of indicators of, like, range or area of effect, which is not surprising for a Kingsfield-like. But it's a thing that I'm just like, man, that is such a nice effect. I'm so glad MMOs gave that to us, because it helps so much being able to see what certain attacks, like how far the range is. I don't think it's good for every game. Monster Hunter doesn't do it, and I would be really upset if they started implementing attacks that are like, oh, the bubble attack, you know, Mitsutsune's bubble attack will swirl in this pattern. But hell yeah. The power of friendship and size.
What is happening? What?
It's all our friends.
Who's that guy?
I'm pretty sure that was what's his name? The vampire.
Oh.
So now we have the Lunacid blade. And we can just
I think
go to town.
This is sick.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We gotta go for these things.
Also, the like jungle beats too.
Yeah. It's real high energy. Love it. I forget. Oh yeah, there's more over here. Come on. Made it. Let's see if we can get closer and just do this. Better stay behind it.
Good Lord, these skulls are durable.
They sure are. We did it. Good job, everybody.
That ruled.
It's a good moment. For a game where
Hey,
everything
girl.
is like really slow and just kind of by the rules, to have a moment where you're like, hey, you're invincible now and you're just gonna have a moment. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Hey, Gerald. You made it.
That's the power of love.
One chamber is all that's left. Maybe it's finally time to wake it up. I'll meet you there when you're ready. Calamus is already waiting there. Oh, Calamus, right. See ya. Woo, I'm beat. Sorry I got stuck outside that massive fire. I was able to buff your health and mana from outside it, though. I guess Suxarius wasn't unkillable after all. Though, I admit, I don't quite understand what death is. For some reason, it seems to be more about rebirth or change.
Okay, Etna.
Maybe Suxarius is still out there in the universe. Maybe he'll get a chance at life, a new chance at life. Or maybe this is all we have. What happens to those in dreams when the dream has ended? Sorry, I didn't mean to get philosophical. It's just nice to voice my thoughts with you, Gerald. I'll meet you back at Wing's Rest. Cheryl? Well, well, well. A cursed night indeed.
You happy?
I've hunted many a foe claimed unkillable, but this sure was something else. Without his curses, he could finally die. Truly, he suffered a tormented existence. It's far better this way. You can go ahead if you want to wake the Great One. I've seen enough for today.
Seems like a good time to save for me.
Quaff a potion. So yeah, this is the Lunacid blade. It's neat.
Great.
Actually, you know what? Let's see. I'm trying to remember if there's anything special about this blade, aside from the fact it does a butt ton of damage. The old one that waits dreaming is awake. Who are these figments, spirits of a dream, to resist? None can, and you shall display your power over them. I guess it's just the Lucid Blade, not the Lunacid Blade. Oh, hey,
Oh, hey.
it's down there on the shore. I'm not sure what will happen when it wakes up. All I know is that the Great Well and the era created by it will all be brought to an end. There's no going back once it's awake. At least, not as this world is now. But sometimes the end is just a new beginning. So true. So we could go down here. I'm gonna walk around, talk a little bit. This is the end of the game. it's probably worth being like, hey, what are thoughts? How do we feel about it? Do we think this game successfully mimics the Kingsfield style of gameplay?
I've never Kingsfielded, but
This place is neat.
this game does seem to be like using so much of the language, even like stuff that I recognize from like other dungeon crawlers and the Soulsborne games, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective, I definitely think it's um, evocative of what it's trying to be, and is also kind of like I would say uniquely its own too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's very
Like
cool.
the
I
lunacy is a very cool metric. This sword is dope.
Yep, I think it's a pretty neat game.
I'm so glad that you brought it to the table because I didn't know about it, and then luckily it was in that humble bundle, so now I has it and have fallen off of it only because I've been doing other nostalgia fueled research, which has created some anger.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
I'm excited to like dive back in this and because I know like 100% I will have a different experience playing it than watching it. I mean, I already have with um like when you're going down corridors, I was like I can tell that Val knows where we are, but I have no clue. But I once like controlling, I'm like, "Oh, okay, left turn, right turn." I'm more conscious of it.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about picking this one because I wasn't sure how well it translated for like something that you could watch. The navigation of it is a little odd,
Hmm.
but I think that it's a really cool game. I'm pretty happy that people wanted to continue on with this. Originally, I was just like, this is going to be a one and done. It's going to be a thing that we look at, and we will also have Dread Dilemma or Dread Delusion that we'll play sometime later. But this will be a really quick game, and I'm pretty glad that we kept with it.
Yeah. I'm glad people wanted to see more of it too.
Yeah, I do hope that people check it out. There is more to this game. Not a ton more because it is sort of limited, but I went out of my way to not pick up a lot of lore. There are several areas that I didn't show you because I was just like, it doesn't really add anything to the game or the ending. It's just more stuff for the world or for if you like the way the game plays. But it's yeah, I think this is a really good game.
Who's this blue feller?
Yeah, let's go talk to him real quick. Hey, buddy.
Oh,
Welcome to the end, Gerald. The Great One is right down there, deathly sleeping on the same shore it was born on. There was a time, long ago, when I caressed it back to sleep. I would have done anything to extend its slumber. To have the world live just a little longer. But I agree now, it must be awakened. Its dream has gone on long enough.
this lighting effect is very cool. Is it pulling you towards it?
Nope.
Oh,
It's the
not what I thought it would look like.
it is the giant fish from the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Hmm.
When a dreamer awakens, what happens to the inhabitants of the dream, or the world that was traveled, or the pain that was felt? The experience will linger sometimes, and the dreamer will remember. Some aspects of the dream will travel the veil and live with the dreamer in the waking world. There are no credits here, because this isn't the end. Newest of the fallen, take up your sword and fight.
That voice reminded me of like a certain type of announcer that I don't have the way to articulate.
Hmm. So yeah, that was Lunacid.
That's a wild ending.
I really like it. I was trying to get another one to proc, and it didn't, and I don't know what I did wrong or what I was missing. But I really like this game because you can read this as a metaphor for like life and existence, but also this game is very much about nostalgia,
Hmm.
and it is okay to retreat to nostalgia, but you can't stay there. Like you have to wake up. And that stuff doesn't go away. You'll carry it with you, but it can't be the only place that you live. The
Right.
the metaphor of like keeping the beast in slumber is very much also keeping yourself in slumber. And it's important to like wake up, move on, change, and grow from the things that you like.
Hmm.
I think that that's part of the brilliance of this game is how those metaphors are used, especially if you start digging into the secret stuff like the VHS tapes and the projectors that we found.
Yeah, this whole huh. Hmm. I feel like I have to marinate with it for a bit in the soup. Um,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
yeah.
I've had
Yeah. Well, I just like I really like it as the metaphor for nostalgia, like for life or consciousness. I'm like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Like that's fun. Like a lot of books and movies and video games deal with that, but like to be like to think about it as just like dealing with nostalgia explicitly or through that lens, I find that the more interesting conversation since it's slightly less traveled.
yeah, I think that the idea of nostalgia has been talked about a lot, but using a world and mechanics as part of the metaphor is really meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and using uh I would assume a beloved series for this developer to explore that too. So it is like inherently retro or nostalgic while exploring nostalgia feels good. I know that sounds very when I say it out loud, that seems silly, but like you could explore nostalgia through other means, right?
Totally.
But to use uh a way of playing or experiencing something in a nostalgic fashion to explore nostalgia, I think is very powerful and like makes it tangible in a different way than if you were just watching like a film made in 2024 on 35 millimeter film and like like it's just a different experience.
Yeah. And in many ways, I think that this game can act as a blueprint because it is doing the thing that it is telling us to do. It's went, Kira went out and they made a game based on a series that they really love. And it is referential, sometimes to a silly point,
Hmm.
but it's its own thing. It stands on its own 2 feet. You don't have to have played the Kingsfield series to like and appreciate this. Like some of the stuff
Agreed.
in the game, like the low poly graphics, the PS1 graphics, being able to set a frame rate based on your favorite Kingsfield. Like those are nice little touches, but this
Yeah.
game is its own thing.
Yeah, I think having. I was talking to someone today actually about nostalgia and like particularly like in retro games. So like thinking about Kingsfield and um that like retro games aren't just about or like contemporary quote unquote retro games or capitalizing on nostalgia isn't just being like, hey, this thing is available to you. You have to be in a lot of ways. There's caveats here, but in a lot of ways, like, what are you doing to appeal to like a modern gamer, right? So Lunacid in itself is I think builds a lot of hindrances to a player who's never played Kingsfield. I'm not saying it's not inaccessible, but it definitely I wouldn't say isn't the new player super friendly.
Sure, I'd agree with that.
I don't think it's antagonistic by any means, but as far as like leaning into like the appreciation of like Kingsfield, like being able to like change frame rate and everything, um, is a silly sensibility that would appeal to a like contemporary gamer because it's like, oh, it's influenced by this thing. I can match that energy. I don't know if any of that makes sense. It was coming from the lens of like a lot of games that are being released now are kind of accessible through emulation. Even companies are emulating games to make them more accessible on like newer consoles. And I was saying that like you can have all the memories of like the old Ninja Turtle games, right?
Right.
Like the arcade games, and they're some of those are really hard, and
Oh
so
yeah.
like those nostalgic glasses really come fumbling off pretty quickly. But then you have titles like tribute games, TMNT's Shredder's Revenge, where it kind of is evocative of all those feelings and that excitement of like the arcade titles, but then is accessible to a more contemporary play style and like just understanding of how games communicate. And I
Yes.
think Lunacid plays is really interesting because it does so much of what made Kingsfield and what makes a FromSoft game FromSoft, but then also does do things to tip the hat in the right direction for its communication. So like
Yeah.
I'm finding that like its item descriptions are way more accessible than some of the things in any of the Souls games I've played. And or at least not as obtuse. Like I could be like, "Oh, you've given me the puzzle pieces and the image that the puzzle needs to be. I got it," you know? So I think Lunacid's a really really interesting piece of art and games media. Um yeah, I think it's really I honestly I think it's a really powerful project that Kira made.
Yeah. I Going back to some of the things that you talked about of like modernizing it, I do think that they made some concessions and like there's no map. It's all things that you have to map cognitively. You don't have a
Mhm.
lot of ways to interact with the world. You're really limited in the
Gamer
spells
notebook.
that you have. Yeah,
Yeah.
gamer notebook. But I also think that if you were to play this and then go play a Kingsfield game, one, I think you would be better prepared than just jumping into the Kingsfield game, but I still think that
Mhm.
you would go into the Kingsfield game and be like, oh man, there are so many more things that are a problem. Like load
Oh
times
yeah.
are abysmal. your controls in this game are so much better than playing on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2.
Totally.
So there are some concessions that are made to bring people in and like let new players enjoy the game, but it is still very much like working within the genre.
Totally. And I think part of that too is I think part of the concessions being made are for and sometimes against to the developer, where it's like, cool, you're making this thing. At the end of the day, if it feels inherently bad, and let's admit some of those PlayStation 1 games before the analog sticks
Mhm.
do not feel good.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like I think it's a fear of like you could say that you want only one person to play your game, but your hopes is multiple people play it and enjoy it. So I think those concessions, I don't even see them as concessions. I think that it's just like the reality of it. You can't make a thing and tell people to come play it and actively build a wall around it and knock them down.
Yeah. I mean, you
Because
can, but those are very specific projects.
totally, totally. But yeah, there's something just very endearing about this project, and I think part of it is its devotion to Kingsfield, or I'm just gonna say FromSoft from my knowledge base, but then like having the Onion Knight-esque character who you kind of are like, look at this doofus, oh, and then being given a choice where you're like, this is gonna end badly, and you assume as the player it's gonna be for you. And then, you know, having Cheryl the Crow, and then the Orko ass looking wizard
Right.
shopkeep as well. Like, there's definitely some like quirkiness, and then the VHS tapes, of course, having this anachronistic thing going on as well. Yeah, it's a damn delight, and I have heard of it, I have seen it, but like being so removed from the genre, like it's never caught my eye. Um, in a way that I was like, yes. So when you brought it up, I was like, yes. And now I'm like so in and want to go back and play other FromSoft games as well, and
Yeah.
kind of get in there, be a
You
cool kid.
you really should. I would recommend everybody look into old FromSoft games. I get it. Everybody loves Souls. Everybody loves Armored Core. Go play Kuon. Go play Echo Knight. Go play. I'd say Kingsfield, but you know it's this. They have so many neat games in their library that nobody talks about. I say nobody. Everybody loves Kuon. All the horror YouTubers will write series about it. But
How do you
yeah,
spell Kuon?
Kuon. It was a PlayStation 2 survival horror game.
Oh, yep,
Uh,
I see the art, and yes.
yeah. It's excellent, and part of me wants them to be able to make other things besides just their Souls games.
Mhm.
Uh, it is hard to find legit copies. I'm not going to tell you not to emulate. Um, because even if you buy a legit copy, that money is not going to them.
Yeah.
Uh, I kind of just want them to be able to make whatever they want, but I keep looking back and I'm like, you all did so many really interesting ideas. Some of them didn't land. Some of them you could see where they were going with it, and you might be able to accept it with all of its flaws. But I don't know. I would like that development team not to just be locked into making the same game over and over and over again.
I mean, they have the power. They've already done Sekiro. They've already helped with Tenchu. They could bring Tenchu back to me.
They
I would
could.
love that.
I'd be down for that.
Bring
I mean, maybe. I didn't like Sekiro at all.
Okay, but they already have ninjas. They already have assets. Just put them in a thing.
Yeah, your movement's
Put 'em in
good
a
when you
thing.
want it to be.
Put them somewhere for me, please.
All
But yeah,
right. Well,
I
think
didn't
that
realize
is.
that From Software was the developer for Shadow Assault, which is a Tenchu game on, I think, the 360 like arcade specifically. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
shit.
a brief period where they touched it.
Yeah, because for a long time they were just publishing.
But yeah,
Yeah,
this has been
but now
Lunacid.
they own it though. Lunacid is great. This is our first finished game on I almost said on Lunacid, on Nostalgia Fueled. Um, d- do we just say go play it, or are we gonna create bullshit rankings that change every time for our nostalgia fueled enjoyment?
I don't really want to create rankings. I don't. Why we don't gotta pit two strong women against each other. I think that this game is really great. It's not a ton of money. If it looks interesting,
Yes,
check it out.
play
If you
it,
don't like it,
play
get a
it,
Steam refund. Like
play it,
that's yeah.
play it. Hey,
It's
guess
it's
what?
a strong recommend from me.
Hey, put it on your wish list. This is your worst case scenario. Put it on your wish list, and then the Steam summer sale goes live, probably at the end of the month or whatever. And then if it goes on sale, you see that price, and then you're like, "Is it for me?" And then you always weigh it. That's what I do. When it's a game that you're not sure of, put on that wish list, and eventually there's a number that is like, "This is for me. This is my risk point."
Yeah, I
I'm not
think that
saying
that's
it's
fair.
a great plan, but if it's like, I was lucky enough to get it on the Humble Bundle, but like, this is a get for me as well. But if it's something that you're like, oh, I don't know, this seems dubious or scary for like, or scary as in like, potentially like a difficulty spike or something that's intimidating, just put it on that wish list, baby. And also, that's the least you could do for Kira. It's such a good metric to help people. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Just wish list and play. Please and thank you. Do we know if they're working on anything new? Like, are they talking about something?
Green Bean Phoenix told me that they are working on a new project on the open source Kingsfield engine that
Oh,
FromSoft originally made,
yes, you did mention that.
which is wild. I'm really interested and hopeful. Um, Part of me feels like, okay, I think I kind of know where they would go, but also part of me is like, I don't know. They're wild. They will make really interesting and unique stuff. So I think I'm just gonna chill and wait and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Sometime I'm going to stream Basilisk and Basilisk 2000 because I think that those are really fun and interesting games. It's another Kira game. I just got to do some things to set up. I have to create a setup that I think would work. I don't know. It's going to be a mess.
That sounds about right. Welcome to streaming.
Yep.
Well,
So,
Val,
yeah.
thank you so much for sharing Lunacid with us, or at least with me.
Yeah.
I've appreciated it. Gerald, where's Gerald now with the with the Beast Awakening? Is
Well,
Gerald still with us?
if you all go outside and look in your gardens, you'll find a sword. And if you look carefully, you might just find a Gerald.
Ooh,
But yeah, I think Gerald's getting ready for our next game.
I love it. Well,
All right.
cool.
Well, thank you all for
hanging
joining
out with
us. Let's see. We got anything big to announce? Any stream dates for you?
Mhm. I'm going to be doing for realsies, since work isn't getting in the way, knock on all the wood. I'll be doing a dev stream on Friday. I'm probably going to work on some sprite work for some enemies
Cool.
for the Skeleton King. Because already GDevelop has pushed an update, which I have not seen has broken anything that I have seen yet, at least. If anything, things have been working better. So, I'm going to be meeting with our dear friend Silver Streak to kind of go through and see if we can just spruce it up with these updates. So, before we do that, I'm just going to be doing some pixel art and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to get that show back on the road.
Good luck.
The game, that is. You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, and then
Yeah.
next week we will play more Crow Crunchy.
Crow Crunchy.
Feels like we're getting pretty close. We've got
I feel
a
like we
few
did
more
a lot
mysteries to
last
solve.
stream.
We unlocked a lot of areas.
Yeah, it
So,
kind
yeah.
of like snowballed there for a little bit.
Yeah.
good.
It's always good when you hit that point in a Resident Evil game where just suddenly everything's moving, but that also means the end is probably on its way.
Yeah, but also the enemies have gotten big and scary, so
That's true.
so that's the thing. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's cool to, you know, both of these games, Lunacid and Crow Crunchy, are not genres or are inspired by series that I'm very familiar with from playing firsthand, but I have seen streams of. So it's really fun to like pick up on some of like the genre bits. You know, their little goofums or something. Or their ways of communicating. That feels really fun. So I don't know if I have kind of like rose-colored glasses a little bit in my enjoyment, just because it's like my first date of sorts. But I'm really enjoying my time with Crow Crunchy. God, that's hard to say. I can't even say it wrong. My brain doesn't know what to say.